Hello, dear students of third prep science. Let's go to start a new episode of revision as a general revision about our syllabus, as we have different types of questions as give reason, what is meant by, complete, and complete the following chemical equations. Let's go to start our episode today with the first type of questions, as we have here give reason for. We have here the first question, as we see appearance of a black precipitate on heating a green copper carbonate. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا بيقول لي appearance of black precipitate on heating a green copper sulfate. زي ما احنا, how can we answer this give reason for here by a simplest way, as we have green copper sulfate. طبعا we know this reaction is considered as a thermal decomposition reaction. So here we have CuCO3 as copper carbonate. By heating, so we have here heating, producing what? Producing CuO as copper oxide plus CO2 carbon dioxide. So this answer is not a complete answer. We should write the names and colors as possible beside or behind the chemical formula, as we have here green copper carbonate, decomposed by heating into copper oxide, and we know the color of the copper oxide is black, plus carbon dioxide. So here we have the answer inside the equation, as we have a black copper oxide. So here we have the answer as appearance of black precipitate on heating. So we talk about here copper oxide. Okay, we can answer as here, as you see, we have to answer, we can answer by chemical equations. Here we have another give reason, as we talking about using zinc turnings or powder during hydrogenation of or hydration of oil. طيب, how can we answer this question? We have the key of the answer inside the question, as we have here زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا. What? أيوة, powder. So we talk about powder or turnings, as we talk about the surface area. So the answer here, to increase what? يبقى to increase the surface area, to increase the speed of chemical reaction, because we talk about the factors affecting the speed of chemical reactions, as we have one from these factors, as we have surface area, as we have temperature, as we have the concentration of reactants, as we have catalysts. Both or these factors increasing the speed of chemical reactions, بتزود سرعة reaction. So we use zinc turnings or powder during hydration or hydrogenation of oil. Next question is, by increasing the electric resistance of a conductor, the current intensity decreases. If we remember the mathematical law of the electric resistance, as we have R equal V over I. So here we have the relation between the electric resistance and the potential difference is directly proportional, and the relation between the electric resistance and electric current intensity is inversely proportional. So here we have the relation here between R and I are inversely proportional. So by increasing the electric resistance, what? The current intensity decreases. So we answer, اقول له طبعا because electric resistance is inversely proportional with what? With current intensity. So here, by increasing the electric resistance, the electric current intensity decrease and the potential difference increase. Here we have directly proportional relation, and here we have inversely proportional relation. Next question is modification the genetic structure of rice plant. As we have to modify the genetic structure of rice plant. Why? We know rice plant contains provitamin A as carotene, and vitamin A or provitamin A can't change into vitamin A. So here we modify, يعني غيرنا the genetic structure of rice plants as اللي هو الرز. Why? يبقى to make provitamin A change into vitamin A to avoid loss of sight، اللي هو بيسبب الضعف الشديد أو فقدان البصر. يبقى هنا to make provitamin A change into vitamin A, and we know the other name of provitamin A is carotene. Change into vitamin A to avoid loss of sight. Next question here is put right or wrong then correct the wrong one. احنا هنعمل هنا right and wrong وبعد كده هنصحح الغلط if it exists. Direct current can be changed into alternating current. بيقول لي هنا direct current DC can be changed into alternating current as AC. So this answer or this statement is right or wrong? Yes, is wrong. يبقى هقول له هنا wrong answer أو wrong statement. So direct current can't be changed into alternating current, or we can answer by another way to correct this statement as alternating current can be changed into direct current. يبقى احنا عارفين from the options or the advantages مميزات alternating current ان هو can be changed into direct current, but direct current can't be changed into alternating current. Next question بيقول لي some countries using artificial lakes for cooling purposes of nuclear wastes. Again, some countries بعض الدول using artificial lakes بحيرات صناعية for cooling purposes لأغراض التبريد of nuclear wastes اللي هي المخلفات النووية. طبعا the answer here is right because some nuclear countries using the artificial lakes for cooling purposes of a nuclear waste. Next one, number 3, is the ratio in second generation according to Mendel's second law is 9 to 7. Again, the ratio in what? In second generation according to Mendel's second law اللي هو the law of independent assortment is second law is 9 to 7. So this statement is right or wrong? طبعا this statement is what is right. Next question is 2Na plus 2H2O producing 2NaOH plus O2 gas evolves. We can answer this question by solving the chemical reaction. We have here sodium plus water. We know this equation considered as a simple substitution reaction. So sodium can replaces hydrogen and getting out يطرده بره from the compound. So here we have 2NaOH plus what? Plus H2 gas evolves. So the correct answer here is what? Is sodium hydroxide as in the question, and the hydrogen gas, not oxygen gas, because we know sodium kept under kerosene to avoid reaction with water because sodium producing hydrogen gas, and we know hydrogen gas burning with pop sound. طبعا بيفرقع. So we have this statement is wrong, and we answer according to the chemical equation as a simple substitution reaction. Next one is what is meant by chemical reaction. Number 2, what is meant by law of independent assortment, and what is meant by ampere. First question we will answer according to about number 1 as what is meant by the chemical reaction. هنجاوب number 1 هنا. Chemical reaction, which means what? Breaking down the reactants bonds to form a new products to form a new products bonds. So number 1, we talk about the general definition about the chemical reactions as we have and we studied before in first prep. خدناها قبل كده في اولى اعدادي and in third prep as we have breaking down the reactants bonds. يبقى بكسر البونز between the reactants and forming a new bonds between the products or the resultants, وبطلع bonds جديدة between the products. Next question is what is meant by law of independent assortment. As we talk about what here, we talk about the Mendel's second law. This law is called independent assortment. So we can answer this question here as the second law of Mendel is called when two individuals are pure and contrast in pairs of traits. In what? In pairs of traits. خلي بالنا من pairs, not pairs of traits. Okay? In the first generation, only dominant trait or traits appear, but in again but in second generation the two traits appear with ratio 9 to 3 to 3 to 1. ما ننساش ratio in the second generation. We talk about here the Mendel's second law. The ratio in the second generation is 9 to 3 to 3 to 1. يعني not 3 to 1. 3 to 1 in the first law as a law of segregation in our first law of Mendel. Number 3, we talk about what is meant by ampere. How can we define what is meant by ampere? تعالوا نجاوبوا هنا مع بعض. Ampere we have two definitions of ampere. We can define from the magic triangle. احنا طبعا زي ما احنا متفقين مع بعض we can define any definitions from the magic triangle. As we have here, for example, we have I equal Q over T. صح؟ تمام. So we have I equal Q over T. And we have another triangle or magic triangle. Here we have what? As we see, we have R equal Q over equal V over I. So we have two mathematical law. This law is R as an electric resistance equal what? Equal V as a potential difference over I as the current intensity. So we know here the measuring unit is ampere. The measuring unit is ampere. And here the measuring unit is coulomb. And here the measuring unit is second, time in second. But here we have the measuring unit is ohm, and the measuring unit here is a potential difference is volt, and the measuring unit of the current intensity as ampere. So how can we define ampere? By two ways. Here we can identify or define ampere as what is the current intensity when the quantity of charge equal 1 coulomb through time equal 1 second. Again, هقولها تاني. If we have a definition to define ampere here is the current intensity when quantity of charge equal 1 coulomb and time equal 1 second. ممكن اقولها كده؟ طب نكتبها مع بعض. تمام. يبقى ampere is current intensity or the electric current intensity when quantity of charge and we know quantity of charge, it's a measuring unit, equal what? Equal 1 coulomb passing in 1 second. So we talk about current intensity and the quantity of charge equal 1 coulomb, time equal 1 second from the magic triangle. And we have another definition of ampere. ممكن نقول الامبير بطريقة تانية. But here we can define ampere according to Ohm's law. يعني لو هو قال لي what is meant by ampere according to Ohm's law, we should define ampere or volt or ohm from this triangle. لازم استخدم التريانجل ده عشان to identify any measuring unit as ampere or volt or ohm. So here we talk about what is meant by ampere. هقول له طبعا ampere is what? It is the current intensity when the potential difference equal 1 volt and the electric resistance equal 1 ohm. تاني. What is meant by the electric أو the ampere. يعني ايه ampere؟ هقول له it is the current intensity when the potential difference equal 1 volt and the electric resistance equal 1 ohm. يبقى we can answer here by using the magic triangle of the electric resistance. يبقى الامبير is what? Is the current intensity. When the potential difference equal 1 volt and electric resistance equal 1 watt ohm. So we start with what? We start with current intensity, and here we start with current intensity. But we use the magic triangle of electric resistance. يبقى when the potential difference equal 1 volt and the electric resistance equal 1 ohm. From this question, dear students, عرفنا من الquestion ده we can answer any definition from unit 2, especially lesson 1, as we talk about the physical properties of the electric current. We have potential difference, we have current intensity, we have electric resistance, we have only 3 mathematical law. We can use any one of them to answer the definitions, to answer the problems, or complete, or what is meant by. براحتنا خالص. يبقى if we use the magic triangle we can answer what is meant by. لو قال لي مثلا volt, what is meant by volt؟ ما ينفعش اجاوب اقول له volt it is a measuring unit of the potential difference. لازم اجيب له definition from the magic triangle. How come? We know V equal W over Q. يبقى الفولت it is a potential difference when work done equal 1 joule and quantity of charge equal 1 coulomb. يبقى انا جبت definition from the magic triangle. As we have electric resistance, as we have مثلا for example the electric current intensity, we know I equal Q over T. So what is meant by electric current intensity? Or the quantity of charge passing in 1 second. So we have to answer from the magic triangle. So let's go to complete our revision with another type of questions as we have here. Question الجاي as complete the following statements. نكمل مع بعض الستيتمنتس اللي قدامنا دي. بيقول لي the measuring unit of working done is what while the measuring unit of time is what. طبعا we know from the magic triangles عرفنا in the measuring unit of what working done, as we have the measuring unit here is joule, and the measuring unit of time in our syllabus is, yes, second. Okay, and we have another chemical equation as we have here copper sulfate, and here we have heating as a triangle, so we have a thermal decomposition reaction, and we know copper sulfate will decompose by heating into black copper oxide. هيطلع لي ايه؟ black CuO copper oxide plus SO3 as sulfur trioxide. And this equation, its type is what? نوع equation دي او this reaction, its type is what? Is here thermal decomposition reactions or reaction. We have here breaking down the compounds by heating into simpler substances. Again, what is meant by thermal decomposition reaction? بقول له breaking down of compounds by heating into simpler substances لحاجة أبسط, بس we break down here by using the heat energy. Next question is بيقول لي yellow seed in pea plant is what rate while the green seed is what rate. We have here traits of pea plant as we studied before in unit 3. We have two types of the inherited or hereditary traits, as we have dominant and recessive. As here we talk about what? احنا هنا بنتكلم على yellow seed and green seed. Yellow seed and green seed. And we know yellow seed is what is dominant trait, while the green seed is, yes, recessive traits. Okay, we should remember the table of dominant and recessive traits in human and in pea plant. في البني آدم وفي البea plant we have at least in pea plant 7 pairs of dominant and recessive traits, and in human we have about 9 dominant and recessive traits. Here we talk about, as first term, chromosome chemically consists of. We talk about chromosome. As we know, chromosome chemically consists of, yes, DNA plus protein. DNA plus protein, or proteins as you like. Okay, so we should remember the chemical composition or the chemical components of DNA and protein together. They will form one chromosome. They will form one chromosome. Next question is the measuring unit of the absorbance radiation. بيتكلم على the measuring unit of absorbance radiation is what? As we talk about the lesson 3 here in unit 2, we studied before the radioactivity phenomenon. The radioactivity phenomenon. And we have the measuring unit in this lesson, as we have the measuring unit of the absorbance radiation is rem. Is rem. And we can't expose more than 5 rem daily. ممكن we can expose to radiation, ممكن نتعرض للإشعاع, but not more than أو doesn't exceed 5 rem daily, يوميا. Next question is complete برضو. بيقول لي the breaking down, what is the breaking down of the reactant bonds and forming a new products bond. طبعا هنا لسه قايلينها as what is meant by, but here as a complete is the breaking down the reactants bond and forming a new products bond. So we talk about chemical reactions. Chemical reactions is the breaking down of the reactants bond and forming a new products bond. Number 7. What is the first scientist who discovered the unseen rays from uranium element? We talk about what? We talk about the first scientist. We need a name here. Name of scientist who discovered, اللي اكتشف unseen rays, أشعة ما بتتشافش, coming from uranium element, as we talk about here the scientist Henry Becquerel. Henry Becquerel. Question number 8 is direct current has what? Current intensity and direction. Here we talk about the direct current. بنتكلم على DC. Has what? Current intensity and what direction. We can differentiate between direct current and alternating current. As here we have dear students, عندنا يعني 4 main points to differentiate between alternating current and direct current. Alternating current يعني بيتغير, so has changeable or variable intensity and direction, while the direct current has constant intensity and direction. تمام. Direct current transfer for a short distance, alternating current transfer for a long distance. direct current can't be changed into alternating current and alternating current can be changed into direct current. يبقى هنا في الكويستشن ده اللي قدامنا لما يجي يقول لي what او direct current has زي ما احنا شايفين current intensity and direction، هقول له constant اهو مكتوبه قدامنا اهي constant او fixed intensity and direction. اوكي. question number 9 لو خلينا هنا لو سمحتوا. question number 9 بيقول لي is the potential difference between تمام the potential difference. يبقى احنا ما ننساش برضو النمبر question اللي هو فات اللي هو we talk about direct current has constant intensity and direction. we have two graphs illustrate the direct current and alternating current هنبقى نرسمهم مع بعض. question number 9 بيقول لي the أو is the potential difference between two poles of battery when the electric circuit is opened. when the electric circuit is open خلي بالنا between two poles of the battery when the electric circuit is opened. here we talk about the electromotive force. electromotive force. Next question as 2Al plus 6HCl. Here we talk about what? We have element plus compound. So we have a simple substitution reaction. عندنا simple substitution reaction. And we looking for how element as aluminium can replace يقدر يخش مكان الهيدروجين. Yes or no? And we know aluminium is more active than hydrogen. So the answer is what? يبقى الالومنيوم هيطرد الهيدروجين. يبقى have 2Al Cl3. ليه 3؟ here we have عندنا هنا 6 chlorine and 2 times 3 equals 6. يبقى the equation is balanced. المعادلة موزونة. plus what? hydrogen getting out. يبقى here we have the symbol of hydrogen as H2. But how many hydrogen? We have 6 hydrogen atoms. So we have to write 3H2 as hydrogen gas here, and this equation is simple substitution reaction, and the hydrogen is effervescence as اللي بيسموه فوران يعني effervescence due to the produce of or the production of hydrogen gas. Okay dear students, لازم نبقى عارفين مع بعض ان the types of questions in the exam كلها related او belonging to each other. يعني ما عندناش question هيختلف عن التاني as type of thinking، الطريقة اللي بنفكر بيها. chemical equations we can answer chemical equations بالمعادلات الكيميائية زي ما بيقولوها يعني بالعربي as give reason, what happens, complete, choose, right, wrong and so on. Okay. At the same time, unit 2 we can use the magic triangles to answer any questions about problems, about definitions, and we can answer the definitions from the mathematical law. Unit 3 we have two main parts. Number 1, as we talk about Mendel's first law, Mendel's second law, we should remember that how can we deal with each one of them and how can we deal with the problems as a parents, gametes and first generation. Okay, at this point dear students we have to finish this episode. Next time inshallah we will complete our revision with another types of questions. Thank you, see you, good